The grand chamber of the Galactic Council sparkled under the light of distant stars, its crystalline walls refracting the glow of 1,000 different species data terminals. Ambassador Sarah Chen fought to keep her expression neutral as accusations flew across the chamber like angry hornets. Impossible. The arcs and representatives' tendrils writhed in agitation, their bioluminescent patches flashing warning patterns. A species barely 2,000 years into spaceflight cannot have developed quantum manipulation technology. The humans are hiding something. Sarah allowed herself a small smile. Of course they were hiding something. The quantum manipulation drive that had caused such an uproar was practically ancient technology by Earth's standards. But the Council didn't need to know that. Not yet. High Chancellor Vex, a towering figure of living crystal and light, raised their resonating appendage for silence. The chamber's chaos subsided into tense murmurs. Ambassador Chen. Vex's harmonic voice rippled through the chamber. These readings from the outer rim are disturbing. A human research vessel was observed conducting experiments that our best scientists claim should be impossible for another 10,000 years of development. Would you care to explain? Sarah stood, her dark blue diplomatic uniform catching the starlight. The weight of 1,000 alien gazes pressed down on her, but she had trained for this moment. They all had. Distinguished members of the Council, she began, her voice carrying clearly through the vast space. Humanity has always been dedicated to pushing the boundaries of scientific understanding. The quantum manipulation drive is simply one expression of that dedication. One expression. A Meridian observer's eye stalks swiveled forward. You speak as if there are others. Of course there are others, Sarah replied smoothly. We've never hidden our technological progress. We simply haven't had reason to demonstrate it all. The chamber erupted again. In the gallery above, Sarah caught sight of something interesting. A Vextar information broker trying very hard to look inconspicuous. The Vextar were notorious for their ability to gather intelligence, and this one's presence suggested Earth's carefully orchestrated revelation was having exactly the intended effect. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains back on Earth, Dr. Maya Patel watched the Council proceedings through a quantum-encrypted feed. Her team of scientists and engineers had gathered in the control center of Project Prometheus, their life's work hidden in plain sight. They're still fixated on the quantum drive, Maya murmured to her colleague, Dr. James Wilson. If they're this worried about century-old tech, imagine how they'll react to what we're actually working on. James nodded, his eyes fixed on the holographic displays showing the status of their true breakthrough. A device that could selectively alter the fundamental constants of physics within a controlled volume of space. Maybe we should show them something a little more recent. Give them a real reason to worry. Maya shook her head. Not yet. The ambassador knows the timeline. We need the Council to understand exactly what humanity is capable of, but we need them to discover it gradually. Too much too fast, and they might do something rash. Back in the Council chamber, the Arcsend representative was becoming increasingly agitated. This is unprecedented. A young species developing technologies that violate our understanding of physics. They must be contained before. Before what? Sarah's voice cut through the chamber like a blade. Before we share our discoveries. Before we help advance the scientific understanding of the entire galaxy. She paused, letting her next words carry weight. Or before we demonstrate why attempting to contain humanity would be a catastrophic mistake. The threat, subtle but unmistakable, sent a chill through the chamber. The Vextar information broker in the gallery quietly made some notes on their datapad. High Chancellor Vex's crystalline form pulsed with concerned patterns. Ambassador Chen, was that a threat? Not at all, Chancellor. Merely an observation. Humanity has always preferred cooperation to conflict. Our technological advances have been focused on exploration, medicine, and improving life for all species. The quantum manipulation drive, for instance, was originally developed to help terraform dead worlds. This wasn't entirely true. The drive had been a military project first, but the Council didn't need to know that either. Not until they understood that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their weapons, but their restraint in using them. A quiet alert chimed on Sarah's neural interface. Dr. Patel's voice whispered in her mind. The Vextar took the bait. Their quantum communications just lit up like a supernova. Every major power in the galaxy will know about this session within the hour. Perfect. Phase 1 was proceeding exactly as planned. The Council's fear of humanity's quantum drive would spread, causing the elder species to watch Earth more closely. And when they watched closely enough, they would begin to see glimpses of humanity's true capabilities. Carefully controlled glimpses that would make them think twice about any hostile action. We propose an exchange, Sarah announced to the chamber. Earth will share some of our quantum manipulation research with the Council's scientific committee. In return, we ask for unrestricted access to the outer rim for our research vessels. You offer us obsolete technology in exchange for free rein to conduct more impossible experiments. The Arxen's tendrils twisted in patterns of disbelief. Sarah smiled. If you believe the technology is obsolete, why are you so concerned about it? The chamber fell silent as the implications of her words sank in. Either the quantum drive was a technological breakthrough beyond their understanding, or humanity possessed even more advanced technology they hadn't revealed. Neither option would help the Council sleep better at night. Back on Earth, Maya watched the proceedings with satisfaction. They'll accept the deal, she said confidently. Their fear of what we might be hiding will overcome their fear of what we've shown them. James nodded, turning back to the Project Prometheus displays. And while they're busy studying century-old quantum manipulation technology, we'll be completing something that will change their understanding of physics itself, Maya finished. But first, they need to learn that humanity isn't a threat to be contained. We're a partner to be embraced, or an enemy to be feared. Their choice. In the Council chamber, the vote was almost unanimous. Earth would share their breakthrough technology, and in return, their ships would have free access to the outer rim. Sarah kept her expression diplomatic, but inside she was smiling. The real work could now begin. The game was afoot, and humanity held all the cards. The only question was how long they would need to play this careful game of revelation and restraint before the galaxy was ready for the truth, that humanity's greatest achievements had nothing to do with weapons or drives or even physics. Their greatest achievement was understanding when to reveal their power and when to hide it. The Council would learn this lesson soon enough. Whether they learned it the easy way or the hard way was entirely up to them. Agent Kira Tell adjusted her human disguise as she walked through the bustling streets of New Singapore. The bioengineered skin felt strange, but the Vextar infiltration technology was flawless. As far as any scanner could tell, she was Dr. Karen Thompson, a quantum physicist recently transferred to the Prometheus Research Complex. Her mission was simple: discover what the humans were really hiding. The quantum drive revelation at the Council had set off every warning bell in Vextar intelligence. No species advanced that quickly without help or without hiding something far more dangerous. The massive doors of the research complex slid open as she approached. Security scanners swept over her, and she felt a moment of tension. The Vextar's best technology had gone into this disguise, but humans had proven surprisingly advanced. Dr. Thompson, a warm voice called out. Dr. Maya Patil approached, smiling. Welcome to Prometheus. We're excited to have you join the team. Kira returned the smile, her artificial face muscles moving perfectly. Thank you for the opportunity. I've been following your work on quantum field manipulation. Of course you have. Maya's eyes twinkled with something Kira couldn't quite read. Though I suspect our public papers only scratched the surface of what you're interested in. Something in Maya's tone made Kira's spy instincts tingle. Did they suspect? No, impossible. The disguise was perfect. The tour of the facility revealed technology that should have been centuries beyond human development. Quantum computers that made the Vextar's best look primitive. Energy systems that seemed to bend the laws of physics. But it was all carefully arranged, almost like a stage set, Kira muttered to herself. "Did you say something, Dr. Thompson?" Maya asked, leading her into a massive circular chamber. "Just admiring the facility," Kira covered smoothly. "What exactly are you working on here?" Maya's smile widened. "Why don't I show you?" The chamber hummed to life. In the center, space itself seemed to twist and fold. Kira's scientific training warred with her instincts. What she was seeing should have been impossible. "We call it the reality lens," Maya explained. "It allows us to observe and manipulate the fundamental constants of physics within a controlled volume." Kira's mind raced. If this technology was real, it would make the quantum drive look like a child's toy. But something still felt off. "Impressive," she said carefully. "Though I'm curious why you're showing such advanced technology to a new hire on their first day." Maya's smile never wavered. "Oh, Karen, or should I say Agent Tell, we're showing you exactly what we want the Vextar to see." Kira's blood ran cold. "I don't understand." "Your disguise is excellent," Maya continued casually. "Probably would have fooled most of our security systems. But you see, we've been expecting you." The quantum drive revelation at the Council was designed to attract attention, to make the elder species send their best spies. The chamber's exits sealed silently. Kira's hand twitched toward her hidden weapons, but Maya raised a calming hand. "We're not going to harm you, Agent Telephone. In fact, we're going to let you complete your mission. You're going to report back everything you've seen here." "Why?" Kira demanded, dropping the pretense of her cover. "Because what you've seen today isn't even close to our most advanced technology. The reality lens, it's impressive, yes, but it's just another carefully calculated revelation. A glimpse of human capability designed to make the elder species think twice about any hostile action." Kira's spy training warred with her curiosity. "If this isn't your most advanced technology, what is?" Maya's expression grew serious. "That's the interesting question, isn't it? What else could humanity be hiding? How far ahead of the galactic curve are we really? Those questions will keep the Council up at night, which is exactly what we want." "You're playing a dangerous game," Kira warned. "The elder species don't like being manipulated." "No one does," Maya agreed. "But sometimes the best way to prevent a war is to make your potential enemies realize they don't understand what they'd be fighting against." A door opened behind Maya, and Dr. James Wilson entered carrying a data crystal. "Everything's ready," he announced. Maya turned back to Kira. "We're going to give you access to certain files, technical specifications, research data, everything your superiors expect a spy to find. It's all real, all accurate, and all carefully selected to send a very specific message." "What message is that?" Kira asked, her training telling her this was too easy, too convenient. "That humanity isn't hiding advanced weapons or planning galactic conquest. We're hiding something far more significant." Maya handed her the crystal. "The question is, will the elder species figure it out before they do something everyone will regret?" Kira took the crystal, her mind racing. "You're letting me walk out of here with classified human technology?" "Of course," Maya smiled. "Though I suspect by the time your analysts finish studying it, we'll have moved well beyond anything on that crystal." Consider it a gesture of good faith. As Kira was escorted to the facility's exit, her perfect human disguise still in place, she couldn't shake the feeling that she had been part of something larger. The humans hadn't just known she was coming. They had planned for it, prepared for it. Back in the control room, James watched the spy leave on the security feeds. "Think she bought it?" Maya nodded. "She's smart enough to know we manipulated her, but not why. When she reports back, the Vextar will be so focused on figuring out our technological capabilities that they'll miss what we're really doing." "And what are we really doing?" James asked with a knowing smile. Maya turned to the massive screens showing Project Prometheus's true form, hidden beneath layers of deception and misdirection. "We're teaching the galaxy that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology. It's our ability to make others underestimate us until it's too late, James finished. As Kira's transport left Earth's atmosphere, she clutched the data crystal and wondered what game the humans were really playing. One thing was certain: they were far more dangerous than anyone had suspected. Not because of their weapons or their technology, but because they had mastered the art of revealing exactly enough to keep their enemies guessing. The real question was, what would they reveal next? Admiral Elena Santos stood on the bridge of the HFY Hyperion, watching the tactical display with practiced calm. 12 Arxan dreadnoughts had just emerged from faster-than-light travel near the human colony of Novaterra, their weapons charged and shields raised. "They're broadcasting, Admiral," her communications officer announced. "The Arxan commander demands our immediate surrender and submission to Elder Species Authority." Elena allowed herself a small smile. After the Vextar spies report had circulated through the Council, someone was bound to test humanity's capabilities. She was almost glad it was the Arxans. They had always been the most aggressive of the elder species. "Open a channel," she ordered. The main screen flickered to life, showing the Arxan commander's serpentine features. Their scales gleamed with bioluminescent patterns of aggression. "This is Admiral Santos of the Earth Fleet. I assume you understand that this is an act of war." "This is an act of containment," the Arxan commander hissed. "Your species advances too quickly, develops technologies that should be impossible. The Council has authorized us to ensure humanity's compliance with galactic law." Elena's smile widened slightly. "Has it? Interesting. I don't recall seeing that resolution pass. In fact, I believe Ambassador Chen is addressing the Council right now about your unauthorized action." In the Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council, Sarah Chen stood calmly as chaos erupted around her. The massive screens showed the confrontation unfolding near Novaterra. The Arxan fleet acts without Council authority. High Chancellor Vex's crystalline form pulsed with alarm patterns. This could trigger an interstellar war. Could it? Sarah asked quietly. Or is it about to demonstrate exactly why such a war would be a terrible mistake? She touched her neural interface. "Admiral, you have permission to proceed with the demonstration. Minimal casualties, if you please." Back on the Hyperion, Elena nodded to her tactical officer. "Activate the Mobius grid." Around Novaterra, space itself seemed to shiver. The Arxan dreadnought sensors suddenly blazed with warnings as hundreds of small crystalline devices winked into existence, forming a complex geometric pattern around their fleet. "What is this?" the Arxan commander demanded, their bioluminescence showing patterns of confusion and fear. "This," Elena replied calmly, "is what happens when you mistake our restraint for weakness." The Mobius grid activated. Within its field, the laws of physics began to shift subtly. The Arxan ships' energy weapons discharge, but their beams curved in impossible ways, missing their targets entirely. Their shields flickered and failed as the underlying quantum fields they relied on simply ceased to function. Impossible. The Arxan commander's scales were now showing panic patterns. "No species has this level of technology." "That's where you're wrong," Elena explained. "We've had this capability for decades. We just haven't had a reason to show it until now." In the council chamber, the assembled representatives watched in stunned silence as the mighty Arxan fleet hung helpless in space, their most powerful weapons rendered useless by technology that rewrote the laws of physics themselves. Dr. Maya Patel's voice came through on the council's communication system. "What you're witnessing is a practical application of our reality lens technology. The Mobius grid allows us to selectively alter physical constants within a defined space. In this case, we've simply changed the rules that make your weapons work." The Vextar information broker, who had received Agent Tell's report, was frantically updating their analysis. If the humans could deploy this technology on a tactical scale, what else were they capable of? "Admiral," Elena's tactical officer reported, "the Arxan ships are starting to show signs of power system failure. Their crews will be at risk soon." Elena nodded. "Open a channel to all Arxan vessels. This is Admiral Santos. Your ships will begin to lose life support in approximately 10 minutes as the altered physics affects your power systems. You can either power down now and accept our assistance, or she let the implications hang in the air. The Arxen commander's scales had shifted to submission patterns. You could have destroyed us. We could have, Elena agreed. Instead, we chose to demonstrate why attacking us is futile while ensuring your crews remain safe. Power down your ships. Our medical vessels are already on approach to assist with any injuries. As the Arxen fleet surrendered, Sarah addressed the council. Let me be perfectly clear. Humanity has no interest in conquest or domination. The technology you just witnessed, it's not even our most advanced capability. We developed it purely for defense. Then what are your most advanced capabilities? The Meridian observer asked, their eye stalks trembling. Sarah smiled. Would you like to find out? Because we're prepared to share some of our real breakthroughs with the council. Not weapons. Something far more valuable. Maya's voice came through again. The reality lens technology has applications far beyond defense. Imagine being able to alter physical constants to make clean energy production trivial, to speed healing by modifying the rate of cellular regeneration, to terraform dead worlds by adjusting the fundamental forces that shape planets. The council chamber grew quiet as the implications sank in. The Arxen representative, their scales now showing patterns of embarrassment, spoke first. You could have shared this technology before. Would you have believed we developed it ourselves? Sarah asked. Or would you have assumed we stole it, reverse engineered it, or were too young to be trusted with it? Sometimes, the only way to prove your maturity is to show you can handle power responsibly. On the Hyperion, Elena watched as human medical ships began treating the Arxen crews. Their advanced healing technology would ensure no one suffered lasting harm from the demonstration. It was a calculated show of both strength and compassion. Admiral, her science officer reported, the Mobius grid test data is revolutionary. The physics modifications were even more precise than simulations predicted. Elena nodded. Send the data to Dr. Patel. Today's demonstration just gave us a wealth of new information to refine the technology further. She paused. And send a copy to the Arxen Scientific Academy. Let's show them what's possible when we work together instead of against each other. The message was clear. Humanity had the power to disable or destroy any fleet that threatened them, but they chose to use that power to protect and heal instead. It was a lesson the elder species wouldn't soon forget. As the crisis diffused, Sarah prepared to reveal the next phase of humanity's carefully planned disclosure. The Arxen's failed attack had proven that humanity could defend itself. Now it was time to show the galaxy why they had developed such power in the first place, not for war, but for something far greater. The Genesis Institute sprawled across 1,000 acres of the lunar surface, its crystalline domes gleaming under Earth's reflected light. Inside the largest dome, representatives from every major species in the galaxy gathered for what humanity had dubbed the Revelation Conference. Dr. Maya Patel stood at the center of the main auditorium, surrounded by the most advanced medical technology Earth had ever developed. The Arxen delegation, including several crew members who had been present during the recent confrontation, sat in the front row. Their scales now showed patterns of intense curiosity rather than aggression. The reality lens technology you witnessed during the Novaterra incident, Maya began, was never meant to be a weapon. It was a byproduct of our true research. She gestured, and a holographic display filled the chamber, showing the human cell rapidly healing damage that should have taken weeks to repair. By selectively altering the physical constants governing biological processes, we can accelerate healing by factors of thousands. Diseases that once meant death can be cured in hours. Injuries that would have been permanent can be fully restored. The Meridian medical experts' eye stalks extended in shock as they processed the implications. This would revolutionize medicine across the galaxy. Exactly, Maya smiled. And it's just the beginning. She nodded to Dr. James Wilson, who activated another display. In a sealed chamber behind reinforced walls, a small device hummed to life. The energy readings it produced made the assembled scientists gasp. It was producing more power than a stellar collector, yet its waste heat was negligible. Clean, unlimited energy, James explained. By modifying the physics governing quantum vacuum fluctuations, we can tap into the fundamental energy of space itself. No radiation, no waste, no environmental impact. The Vextar information broker, who had received Agent Tell's report, was frantically taking notes. This explained everything. Why humans had advanced so quickly, why they had developed such precise control over physical constants. They hadn't been building weapons, they had been trying to save lives. High Chancellor Vex's crystalline form pulsed with patterns of realization. Your quantum drive, your defense systems, they were all just stepping stones to this. We needed precise control over fundamental forces to make these breakthroughs possible, Maya confirmed. The military applications were secondary, useful deterrents to keep us safe while we completed our real work. In orbit above Luna, Admiral Santos watched the proceedings from the Hyperion. The ship's advanced sensors showed dozens of alien vessels arriving, drawn by news of the conference. None showed hostile intent. The Novaterra demonstration had ensured that. In the past year, Sarah announced, the combined efforts of our multi-species research teams has successfully terraformed 3 dead worlds, making them habitable for various species. Our medical technology has reduced mortality rates across all known civilizations by an average of 60%, and our clean energy systems have eliminated resource conflicts in 12 different sectors. The Arcsend representative scales showed patterns of pride. They had become one of humanity's strongest allies after their failed attack led to this new era of cooperation. And yet, they noted, Earth maintains its defensive capabilities. We do, Sarah confirmed. Peace through strength remains our policy. But I believe the past year has shown that strength doesn't have to mean weapons. Dr. Maya Patel, now director of the Genesis Initiative, stepped forward. The reality manipulation technology that had once been used to disable the Arcsend fleet was now being used to create gardens on dead worlds, to power cities with clean energy, and to heal injuries that would have once been fatal. We've received requests from over 300 worlds for Genesis stations of their own, Maya reported. Our current challenge isn't technological. It's keeping up with demand. In orbit above a once-dead world in the Meridian sector, Admiral Elena Santos watched from the Hyperion as the planet's atmosphere slowly turned blue. The reality lens technology was rebuilding an entire world from the molecular level up. Next to her stood Kira Tell, the former Vextar spy who had now become the head of cross-species security for the Genesis Initiative. Still worried we might be hiding something worse? Elena asked with a smile. Kira's human disguise was long gone, her natural Vextar features showing amusement. Always. But I've learned that humanity's secrets tend to save lives rather than end them. The planet below them shimmered as rivers began to form on its surface. In another few weeks, it would be ready for its first inhabitants, refugees from a dying star system that the Council had once deemed too primitive to help. Back in the Council chamber, High Chancellor Vex raised an important point. The technology sharing has been unprecedented, but Earth still maintains certain restrictions. The defensive applications remain solely in human hands. They do, Sarah agreed. Think of it as humanity's insurance policy. We've shown what we can do to help the galaxy. We've also shown what we can do if anyone tries to stop us from helping. It's a balance that seems to be working well. Dr. James Wilson's voice came through the communication system from the Lunar Genesis Institute. We just completed trials on the next generation of medical technology. By fine-tuning our control over fundamental forces, we can now extend lifespans across all known species by centuries. The chamber erupted in excited discussion. The Meridian observer's eye stalks swiveled toward Sarah. Humanity continues to surprise us. Just when we think we've seen the limits of your capabilities, you reveal something new. That's because we never stopped innovating, Sarah explained. The defensive technology that so worried the Council, it was never our end goal. It was just protection while we worked on what really mattered, solving the problems that affect all sentient life. At a medical facility on the Arxen homeworld, human and Arxen doctors worked side by side, using reality lens technology to cure diseases that had plagued their species for millennia. The Arxen commander who had once tried to contain humanity now led their world's medical research division. The humans could have dominated us, they explained to a group of young Arxens, their scales showing teaching patterns. Instead, they chose to help us. They showed us that true power isn't in weapons, but in what you choose to do with your capabilities. In the deep space reaches of the Outer Rim, where the failed attack on Novaterra had taken place, a new type of station took shape. It wasn't a military installation or a defensive platform. It was a Genesis hub, designed to coordinate terraforming efforts across an entire sector. Kira Tell toured the facility with Admiral Santos, marveling at how much had changed. You know, when I first infiltrated Earth, I was looking for secret weapons. Instead, I found something far more powerful, hope. Elena nodded. That's what we were protecting all along. Not our technology, but our ability to use it to help everyone, not just those the Council deemed worthy. The final display in Sarah's presentation showed the next phase of the Genesis initiative, a galaxy-wide network of stations that could transform dead worlds, heal the sick, and provide clean energy to any civilization that needed it. Admiral, her science officer reported, the Arxens are requesting permission to send more scientific delegations. They're particularly interested in the medical applications. Helena smiled. Grant all legitimate requests. That's the whole point of this exercise, to share what we've built. Back in the Genesis Institute, Maya moved to the presentation's final revelation. The main chamber darkened, and a new hologram appeared. A dead world transforming before their eyes, as reality itself was reshaped to support life. Project Prometheus, she announced. The ability to terraform planets by carefully adjusting the physical constants that govern atmospheric composition, geological activity, and biological processes. We can turn dead worlds into living ones in months rather than millennia. The chamber erupted in excited discussion. The Arxen representatives' scales showed patterns of wonder that hadn't been seen in their species for generations. Why? They asked simply. Why develop all this in secret? Sarah Chen stepped forward. Because we needed to ensure these discoveries would be used for the benefit of all species, not just those the Council deemed worthy. Humanity remembers its own history, how advanced societies sometimes withheld technology from those they considered primitive. She gestured to the gathered delegates. We developed defenses strong enough to ensure no one could steal or suppress these breakthroughs. But our goal was never to keep them for ourselves. Now that we've proven we can protect this knowledge, we're ready to share it. A young Meridian scientist raised their eye stalks. The energy requirements for these technologies must be enormous. How do you generate enough power? Maya smiled. That's the elegant part. Each breakthrough builds on the others. Our energy technology powers our medical devices. Our understanding of fundamental forces lets us terraform worlds. It's all interconnected, all part of a greater whole. The Vextar agent, still maintaining her Dr. Thompson cover, spoke up. And you're willing to share everything. All the research, all the technology. Almost everything, James replied. We'll maintain control of the defensive applications, humanity's insurance policy. But the medical technology, the energy systems, the terraforming processes, those belong to everyone now. In the Council chamber, watching via quantum link, High Chancellor Vex addressed the assembled representatives. It seems we gravely misunderstood humanity's intentions. We saw their rapid advancement as a threat when we should have seen it as an opportunity. Sarah nodded. We understand the concern. A young species developing technology beyond their expected capability sets off warning bells. But consider this. Every breakthrough we've shown you today was developed not for power or dominance, but to solve problems that affect all sentient life. Maya activated one final display, showing the full scope of Project Prometheus, a network of terraforming stations that could revive dead worlds across the galaxy. This is humanity's gift to the galaxy. Not weapons, not tools of war, but the ability to heal, to restore, to create. The Arxen commander who had led the Nova Terra attack stood, their scales showing complex patterns of emotion. We attacked you, yet you offer to share technology that could save billions of our people. Why? Because that's what humanity does. Elena's voice came through the communication system. We advance, we innovate, and when we're ready, we share what we've learned. We just needed to make sure no one could stop us from helping everyone, not just the species the Council deemed worthy. As the conference continued, delegates from across the galaxy began forming research partnerships with human scientists. The Genesis Institute would become the heart of a new era of galactic cooperation, one where humanity's greatest weapons weren't the ones that could destroy, but the ones that could create, heal, and restore. 1 year after the Revelation Conference, the galaxy had changed in ways few could have predicted. The massive window of the Galactic Council chamber no longer showed just the 3 suns of Centauri Prime, but also the gleaming shape of the first joint species Genesis station, where scientists from across known space worked together to advance the technologies humanity had shared. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood before the Council, but this time she wasn't defending humanity's actions. She was presenting the first annual report on the Genesis Initiative's achievements. The holographic display behind her told a story that even the most optimistic hadn't dared to hope for. This is humanity's true legacy, she concluded. Not the weapons we built to defend ourselves, but the tools we created to help others. We kept our defensive capabilities secret not to threaten the galaxy, but to ensure no one could stop us from helping everyone in it. High Chancellor Vex's crystalline form, pulsed with patterns of deep understanding. Perhaps this is why younger species should not be underestimated. You see solutions where we see only problems. Maya smiled. We've learned that the greatest breakthroughs come not from competition, but from cooperation. Earth's technology combined with the knowledge of the elder species has already achieved more than either could have managed alone. As the council session concluded, Sarah looked out at the Genesis station orbiting Centauri Prime. It was a symbol of everything humanity had fought to achieve. Not dominance through force, but progress through cooperation. They had kept their weapons, yes, but they had revealed their true power. The ability to turn enemies into allies by showing them a better way forward. The galaxy had feared humanity's advancement. Now it celebrated it. And somewhere in the vast reaches of space, new worlds were coming to life. New diseases were being cured. And new forms of clean energy were powering civilizations that had once been deemed too primitive to help. Humanity had changed the galaxy not through conquest or control, but through something far more powerful, the simple choice to use their capabilities to help rather than harm. It was a lesson the elder species wouldn't soon forget, and a legacy that would shape galactic civilization for millennia to come.